story that I had built of Scooter wasn't working. And if I didn't have Scooter, then what's underneath? But I hadn't had a foundation of Scott. And that's why I started to crumble.
It's so similar. All like ex-girlfriends of mine are like, am I getting Harry or like brand Harry?
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I've gone that my whole life as I was dating. You know, you'd start off great and then they get to a point and they'd see how you operate and they wonder if you're doing it, you know.
And the truth is, I'm always giving them brand Harry.
Well, I think you're always giving them brand. I used to hear that. You're so much more self-aware than I was at this age. I just got to say again how incredibly impressed I am by you.
Thanks, man.
No, I'm really just blown away, even by what you just said. It moved me because at 25, at 30, I didn't know to say that, because I thought being Scooter was authentic, because I didn't remember who Scott was, and I didn't love who Scott was, and I had left it so far behind. You still know who that other dude is. You still, like, you're aware enough that he's right there in front of you, and you can grab him, and you could do the work far before I did. You don't have to hit that rock bottom.
The hard thing I find is actually the separating the two. And actually you can become, I don't know if you found this, but you become the brand that you create, and then you can lose yourself.
I think the most important thing is starting to realize that this brand you created was created by you.
Yeah.
That the strong one was you, not the brand. I think that's the lie we tell ourselves as we build this through our childhood. We build this mask, this armor, because we don't think we're enough. And then you get to a place that I'm working on now, realizing, wait a second, that little kid built this. I didn't need to leave him behind. He's actually the strong one the whole time. And that's what I'd offer to you. The brand is something that person that you thought didn't have friends because you were studying, that person that you thought, you know, I've heard you make a lot of kind of degrading jokes about yourself early on. That person that you're degrading built this person that everyone seems to be so impressed by. And I think that you should give yourself a lot more credit.
Can I ask one, and then we'll do a quick fire? And it's, you do many interviews. You've had many questions asked of you. Are there ever questions, or is there anything that I haven't asked that you think I should ask? Is there ever a question that you wish someone asked of you that they don't ever ask you? I find often no one ever actually asks that, because I'm always asked the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Get into the industry.
Well, I find that like different interviews go into different places. Like this one went to a very deep philosophical, personal place. I think people were expecting, and even my partners were expecting, for you to go deep into my investment strategy, how I invest.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No. By the way, I'm good. I'm happy that we did this, because I think this will actually make a
bigger influence.
Yeah, I actually think so. No one's ever asked me if I find myself successful.
Scooter, do you find yourself successful?
I think for the first time in my life, I'm getting there.
What's helping you get there?
That when you just said, Scooter, do you find yourself successful? I'd actually prefer if you say Scott.
Huh. How long ago, like how recent is this?
It's only over the last 2-3 years. And I think I'm perfectly fine being called Scooter. I'm very proud of the achievements but when you asked me that question, even though I posed it to you, I felt this visceral reaction inside of me of, well, then he's asking the wrong person. And I think now that I'm getting back to that version, that I'm accepting that kid created all this, I'm becoming prouder of myself. So yes, I think I'm getting there as I embrace something that it's actually funny. It's a piece of advice that my grandmother gave me a long time ago. And I've said it so many times, but I think this moment right now is the first time I truly understood it. She said, being mature is loving your 12-year-old self. She goes, we get to about 12, we hit that teenage years. We're like, think we're not cool. We go through all these different things. We start to create that shell. And when you become mature, you actually realize you were always good enough at 12 before you started like going through that teenage insecurity stuff. And I think this moment is when I realized like I was Scott, and I think the more I accept that version of me, the more I accept the version that doesn't, that I'm proud of me exactly the way I am. Then I start to feel more successful. And it's funny because all the things that I thought I had to build to be successful had nothing to do with that.
That's a big one. That's when something I heard an expression the other day. It hit me in my feels. I'm pretty young, but I don't quite speak millennial or Gen Z or whatever it is. Um, yeah, that's. I'm really happy for you. That's a big, big thing. Do you wish people would not call you Scooter then?
No, like I said, I'm very proud of my life and what I've done and the things that I've been able to achieve and the things that I want to achieve. But I like the fact that for the first time in a very long time, I like calling myself Scott.
Yeah.
And about what other people call me, I'm cool with either one. It's been a part of my journey. But I haven't been comfortable with that name probably since I was 6 years old. 3 years ago, I would tell you I don't even like that name. And I shouldn't have been named that name. That's why I like Scooter, because I never felt like I was a Scott. And I absolutely love my name now.